Well, hello to all of you from around the world. I want to thank you for joining us for another edition of Soulivity Today. My name is Brian Wesley Johnson, and we're broadcasting live from our studio right here in the nation's capital, Washington, D.C. And whether you're at home driving or even at work, we're always glad you're here with us. Alongside me today is my radiant co-host, Sheila Applegate. Sheila is a conscious life coach and best-selling author who has dedicated over 25 years to helping people live their best lives. Hello, Sheila. How are you?
Good morning, Brian. I'm doing well. It's a beautiful day. The birds are singing.
I know it's like I don't know why reggae is on my mind this morning, because that one song, three little birds on my doorstep, don't you worry. It's kind of like on my mind this morning. So I'm so glad you're here.
That's
You've been
awesome.
okay? What have you been up to over the last few days?
Oh, Brian, I went to see a premiere showing of an incredible play that if you can get a chance, you should see it. It's called Citizen James. And James Adams. And it's like it's just so powerful. It's a moment in history, just a tiny moment in history. So it's going to start hitting the different cities and everybody should look for it.
All right. So I'll have to check that out. Because
Yeah.
I love great plays and musicals and all that. I haven't been to the theater in a long time, so I'm overdue. I'm overdue for that. So thanks for that. Why don't we go ahead and get started? Everyone, if you're ready for a great show, you came to the right place. Our love relationships are such an important part of creating our best lives. They provide companionship, love, security, and emotional and physical support. But what do you do when you're going through challenges that are completely unavoidable but solvable? Well, back with us is Melva Johnson, who is the co-founder of the Johnson Relationship Institute for Couples, co-author of the book Mining for Gold in Your Relationship, and the author of The 10 Secrets to a Long-Lasting Passionate Marriage. She has more than 4 decades of experience as a psychotherapist, public speaker, co-author, and consultant. And she has appeared with her late husband, Jesse, on local and national radio, as well as television shows, and been featured in numerous print media. And the best part of knowing her is that I also have had the great pleasure of also calling her Mom. So, hey, Mom, and welcome to Soulivity Today.
Hello. I like that part.
I kind of figured you would like that part.
Oh,
man. We've been talking about over the last few weeks some of the difficulties that happen in relationships, specifically communication secrets, that are part of your book. And today we're going to be talking about irreconcilable, I always mispronounce this, irreconcilable differences that happen within relationships. And this is pretty serious stuff. I mean, can be, I guess, Mom, when things are getting really rough and people are trying to, they have difficulty in trying to come together to solve some things. From your perspective, what does this really look like? Can you kind of set the scene for us around this?
Yes. So it's interesting that relationships, in my mind, are a setup. They're set up for each partner to get to know themselves and as well as getting to know the other person. And so in this segment, in terms of people being different, they forget that one of the reasons why they were attracted to each other was because of the differences in terms of being different people, in terms of having a different rhythm, in terms of looking at the world differently and sharing those views. So they forget that when they get into stage 2, the growth part of the relationship. So let's say there's a couple who are, they're compatible, but they get stuck in being different. So he's the kind of person who is logical. He has an analytical mind. He has an analytical job. So he sees everything through the lens of logic. I mean, that's how he functions. That's how he has thrived in life. He was thriving like that before he met her. And so let's say that she is a creative writer. So the attraction to her was that, this man is solid, he's focused, he crosses all the T's and he dots all the I's, so in the romantic stage, she loved it. And so for him, he liked that she was so spontaneous and the life of the party kind of person. So after they were together for a while, that got on their nerves. I mean, because they would have conversations and he would pull out the spreadsheet. And so he would go through all the details of whatever they were planning together, whatever it was. And so she was kind of a free-flowing kind of person. And she just wanted to be spontaneous about whatever they were planning for the future.
Mm-hmm,
Now, this couple really loved each other, but over a while, she got tired of the spreadsheets and he got tired of her being emotional. So he said that she's irrational. So over time, and then they would argue about that. And they were trying to change the other person. I mean, they would go on vacation. And so he would have everything planned from the time they left the house until the time they were on vacation until the time they got home. Rigid. I mean, that's what she called him. But she just wanted to relax and enjoy him and enjoy the time, So both of them said that the other one run the vacation. They were even like that in the bedroom in terms of him planning and her just want to be spontaneous. Bad news. Bad news. So they just argued and argued and argued and they got stuck. And I'll talk about the consequences next.
Sheila, I can't help but, I mean, we're all different, right? And so, I know that when you've talked to people about relating to other people, and we're trying to start from this place of being aware and that kind of thing, there's certainly this expectation that other people are going to be acting like we want them to be. Basically, they're going to do it the way we want them to do it, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, I think maybe society or innately we just sort of want that to be, but the reality is it isn't in most of our relationships, right? So it is that. I think as you're talking, Melva, knowing ourselves really helps us to be able to move past this bridge. I'm looking forward to hearing more about what you are going to talk about, but I could definitely relate to your stories, and that so often when we meet a partner, it's during a self-awareness phase for ourselves. So we are looking for that we don't have. But then once we kind of integrate some of it, we often want more of what we already had, right? We want to be more whole and complete. And this is a big gap, a big bridge to get over. But I'm excited to take that journey over it with you, Melva.
Yeah, we hear the phrase sometimes, you complete me. Really?
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And then
Thank
we
you,
find
Hallmark.
out. Yeah, I know, right? And it's like, and again, the movies and all this kind of stuff kind of perpetuate this story that the person that you meet, that again, there's these different stages, and the movies focus on this first stage that you've talked a lot about, Mom, which is this romantic stage, right? Where the drug, that romantic drug is flowing, everybody, you're clicking, everything is magic, you do see these other things, but the drug is so high that you ignore it. You talk about this a lot, right?
Yeah.
And there might be things that, in terms of these irreconcilable differences, they could be there, but you're not paying attention, right? You're pushing it to
Oh,
the side.
yeah, you're just paying attention to what you like about the other person. It's like you just see through the lens of what is working well. And they do things
Yeah.
to get on your nerves, but some people say, yeah, that's getting on my nerves, but I'm going to change that person when we get
Ooh.
married or when we become a committed couple, so, and, and what is the other myth? Okay, I'm dating myself, but with her. So, love means, this is like back in the day, love means never having to say, I'm sorry, or you're sorry kind of thing. Yeah, it's like, all of these myths and what have you, but you know what? It's like, we can't help it. This is what we're exposed to. This is what, it's like our history teaches us how to be in a relationship to survive, not to thrive. We have to learn how to grow and thrive. So people are just trying to survive, and they get triggered when the differences don't lead them to feeling closer together.
Right.
And they think it's
Right.
intentional.
Yeah, oh, you bamboozled me.
Yeah.
You're supposed to you're supposed to act the way that I want you to act, and all that. And where did that come from? So listen, we're gonna take a break and let this kind of sink in, because I'm sure that there's people out there that are listening right now that are like, yeah, I know exactly what they're talking about. But there's more to this story. And so when we come back, Sheila and I are going to talk with Melva, my mom, about what's this thing she calls predictable results. You don't want to miss this. So stay right tuned, and we'll be back with more of Soulivity Today in just a moment. Soulivity Today is brought to you by Happy Travelers Tours and Old Vine Wine Tours.
Ready to embark on a wine-filled adventure? Book your luxury wine tour today with Old Vine Wine Tours and experience the unparalleled beauty and flavors of Sonoma, Napa, and Lake counties. Old Vine Wine Tours offers transportation for the most amazing experiences in the Sonoma Valley, Santa Rosa, Healdsburg, and all of Sonoma County, as well as the Napa Valley and Clear Lake wineries of Lake County. From boutique tastings to bridal party transportation, we have you covered. Go to Old Vine Wine Tours /Wine in the Weeds for more information. Don't forget to mention promo code Soulivity to get 10% off either a culture or wine tour. Book your adventure today.
Hey, we're back here with more on Soulivity Today with noted relationship author and expert Melva Johnson, along with my co-host for today, Sheila Applegate. We are continuing our series about 10 common relationship problems shared by couples, communication secrets, if you say. And today we're talking about when couples are going through irreconcilable differences. Mom, when it comes to couples feeling this way, you say they're predictable results. What do you mean by that?
Yeah, so they get stuck on the tip of the iceberg. And so they keep going round and round and round and round, having the same argument. And sometimes they can't even remember what they argued about. They just know that they're frustrated because they're not feeling heard, they're not feeling understood, they're not feeling seen. And they get to the point sometimes that they're walking on eggshells because they're concerned or even afraid that what they say could cause an argument or what they say will not be heard anyway, so, why even talk? And so what happens, frustration builds up, and then that turns into resentment, and then that turns to the couple growing apart instead of together. In this example, it's like she sees him as rigid and cold. He sees her as overly dramatic. Now, mind you, these were qualities that had a different description in the beginning. And so, you know, she needs that emotional connection that he was able to give when he was high on the feel-good feelings in the beginning. And she was able to slow down a little bit in that first stage. But now they're in the real life stage and they get stuck there. And so their relationship begins to suffer because they can't connect. Now, this is a couple, they love each other. They love each other deeply, but they can't get on the same page. He withdraws more and more. Now, she tries to get him to talk, but she knows he's not going to talk to her, but she keeps trying, you know, so it's very frustrating. He keeps all of the feelings inside, and so they just build up and build up and build up, and then from time to time, he just explodes. So she turns to her friends and family and complains about him, which is not a good thing to do. But she turns to her family, and then they both start wondering, now, why are we in this relationship? Why are we together? Who is this person? They start seeing each other as the enemy instead of ally and growing together. And, you know, people don't know what they don't know. They don't know that they're stuck on the tip of the iceberg.
You know, when I'm hearing you say this, Mom, I can't help but think that even if what a couple who really loves each other is going through, it could be 5% of what their relationship is about, or 10% of what their relationship is about, where the other part is like really, really good. That 5 or 10% is so emotionally charged that it can like cover over the perception of what the relationship really is. Do you find that, you know, think that's been my experience, but do you find that with other couples?
Yes. So the bottom line is that people go into survival mode because that's how they know how to be in life. I got to survive this. They don't know about, many people don't know, I'm not saying everybody, many people don't know about this whole idea of safety and how to create safety, because their brain is hardwired for survival. So if they don't feel safe on any level, then they're going to go to their defenses. And then they try to deal with it while they're flooded with emotions. And that makes things worse because they hurt each other with their words and their behavior. And then, you know, the sad part is like later on, they're trying to figure out, well, what just happened here? They don't know what happened, but they don't know how to do anything different.
Right. And again, Sheila, this goes to why I know in your practice with people, why it's so important to not wait to do the process of healing wounds and that kind of thing, that survival mode is what we know, because that's what we're born with, that's what we're socialized to believe, and that's what we're bringing to the table in a relationship if we haven't done the work beforehand.
I love that you said that about survival, Melva, because my theory, and I think if we look at it, it makes sense, is that, you know, the form of marriage that we have right now originates in a survival where you group together in order to survive in the wilderness, right? Before we evolved. And then we added the emotional connection piece later in our evolution, but we didn't let go of the original form and we didn't know how to add the other. And then all these stories got mixed in through books and movies and cards, all of it, so that we have this very convoluted understanding. So like you talked about in the story that you would go to your friends or your parents or, siblings, they don't have any more experience in this because they're growing up, and unless they've had training, our society doesn't teach this. So we're growing up with the same unhealthy solutions to the natural problems that come from the form of the relationship that we're navigating. So I love that, that you're here and you're telling people like, okay, we can do this. We just need new rules.
Right,
Yes.
right,
Yes.
right, right, right. Mom, are there other predictable results that you see that happen during this stage? I mean, because this is the stage you're going into, what I think what you call is it the reality stage of love?
Yeah. Yeah. This is, yeah. This is such an important stage because people don't know the purpose of it, because
Mm,
the purpose is for both people to get to know themselves more deeply. People they want to be the best version of themselves, and they bring the best version of what they know how to be to their love life, their marriage, and other areas of their life. And so they don't know that, because we talked about last time, there's a gold nugget of information for each partner to discover when things go downhill. But it's hard to see it when you have blind spots about how you're contributing to the nightmare. You know how your partner is contributing to the nightmare, but you don't know how you're contributing to the nightmare, because you, in that moment, you can only see what works for you.
right, right.
And couples get stuck over and over and over again with that.
Well, it
But
makes sense. It makes sense.
In this day of self-awareness, people are learning more. They're learning more and more and more. And then they have a lot of information. They have a whole lot of books. Oh, person got all these books behind her. But they have a lot of books. They go to a lot of seminars, webinars, and that kind of thing. So they have the information, but they don't know how to implement it.
Mm,
Or they'll
mm,
start to implement it, and then
mm.
their old programming takes over.
Right.
This is how I know how to be in a relationship. I don't know how to be in a relationship any other way.
Mm, mm, mm. And my guess is, since we talked about this state of I would say insecurity when it comes to this, fear's got to be part of this too, right? Where you're going into the unknown, and you feel this pull to open yourself up more, but you haven't felt that before, and it's probably really, really scary, right?
Yeah. Part of the tip of the iceberg is that people get caught up in the anger, and that's the
Mm,
secondary emotion. That's the tip of the iceberg. So they don't have the awareness or the tools to peel away the layers to get to the hurt and the fear and the other vulnerabilities about who they are, what's difficult for them in the situation. They don't have a way to get to it and then talk about it.
right,
That's
right,
going to help them to turn things around.
right, right. Well, let's turn the table here after we take this break, because I think it's important for people to understand, again, like I said before the last break, that this isn't the end. The feelings, the results that you were just talking about, Mom, it's not the end. It's actually the beginning of this stage, this journey that you can be on. And so we're going to take this break, and tell you about, there's some ways to achieve transformation in your relationship when this is happening, and we'll talk about those ways next. Hi there, this is Brian with Soulivity.com. I want to share some exciting news about our new Aspire Academy by Soulivity. Now, you probably want to know what the Aspire Academy by Soulivity is. Well, it exclusively connects you with people around the globe and who share the intense desire to improve themselves and create a better life for themselves today. There's classes, there's workshops, there's live events, and even more exclusively just for you. You see, I wanted you to have a safe space where you could grow, you can learn, and it would empower you in all aspects of your life, including your mind, your body, and your soul. So how do you get started? Well, it is so easy. First of all, the best part, joining Aspire Academy is absolutely free. Just click on the Join Now button, sign up, and begin your journey. As a special part of this invitation to you, there are some free courses that are available for you to try from our amazing roster of coaches and collaborators. It's our way of saying thank you for all of your support and being with us along our journey of expansion. I hope you enjoyed the Aspire Academy by Soulivity today. Start the process. Learn more about your passion, your purpose, and how to live a higher quality life.
For more information about Aspire Academy by Soulivity, visit aspire.soulivity.com today.
Hey, we are back with more of Soulivity Today with noted relationship author and expert Melva Johnson, along with my so sunshiny Sheila Applegate, who's also a conscious life coach. We are talking about when couples are going through some irreconcilable differences in their relationship. We're giving you some important information that you need to know. Mom, you definitely want people to know that there are ways to achieve what you like to always call transformation, specifically during this stage of relationships when it gets real. when the drug starts to wear off after the romantic stage and stuff is happening, what are some of the ways that people can, specifically couples, can tap into to transform their relationships when they're going through irreconcilable differences?
Well, my first thought is self-awareness. So it's real important to go within. When you get triggered, I often say, take an adult timeout and go into reflection mode and ask yourself, what's really going on with me? Why did I get so triggered? What is this all about? And just be still and just be with that question, because the answer is going to come forth. And, usually what's happening is that you're not getting a specific kind of connection that you're wanting with that person in the moment. So when you get clear about what that is, then when you have the conversation again, or before you even have the conversation, it's important to come up with ground rules about how this conversation is going to go. So I call it creating a safe conversational environment with ground rules, meaning we're not going to criticize each other. We're not going to do finger pointing. We're not going to put each other down. We're going to really focus on getting to know the other person's experience, because we got in touch with ours. And so we want to know what the other person's experience is too. So when you have that kind of sharing, then you can start getting to the bottom of the outcome that you want, because we're wired to focus on the negative. We're wired to focus on what's wrong. So it gives the growth opportunity is to, number one, pay attention to the parts that are going well and going right, and then look at where the course correction can be. That's going to get you on the same page. But you got to figure it out for yourself first. Listen to the golden nugget within the complaint that the other person has about you, because that golden nugget is true. And, just know, look at it and say, okay, so this is an opportunity for
Yeah.
me to grow. I have options now. I always say to couples, okay, now that you have this information, you're at the fork in the road. You can either go down the road most traveled and keep doing what you were doing, or you can go down the road less traveled, grow together, come together, nurture this relationship, make it a big deal, and stay on track with your big picture, which is your purpose for being together in the first place. I mean, your real purpose for being together in the first place.
Sheila, as Mom was talking here, I love the fact that the very first thing, Mom, that you said was go within.
Mhm.
And Sheila, we talk about this all the time. We just talked about this in your show about conscious living, right?
Right.
Where that's step number one, and that it really does create space to see where the other person's kind of coming from, right? I mean, it kind of really opens you up. Has that been your experience as well?
Yeah, absolutely. Everything you say, Melva. Yes, yes, yes. I think every relationship is a relationship with ourselves. And it's just an expansion of ourselves. It's a mirror. Everyone's heard that, but that's the truth. It's always about us, but not in a demanding way, in a way of the more I know myself, the safer I feel expressing it. And also the safer I am to have that empathy, to be able to see it from the other person's perspective, because now we're on the same team and we can work together for what we both want, which is that joy and that self-awareness. As long as both people want that, right? I mean, that is the thing. We can always be in a relationship with ourselves and can continue to grow, but then also for it to go to that next level, both people do need to have that interest, of course.
Yeah. Yeah. I think as I'm thinking about what both of you are saying, I know in my relationship, I've gone through these things with my honey. And when we actually go within, take a break, let the emotional kind of stuff kind of die down, the awarenesses that I know that I come into about me and how that relates to our relationship are always profound. And I'm able to bring that back into my relationship with her. And then she's telling me stuff that I'm like blown away about. So we're like blowing each other away, and it just brings us closer together. So it really does transform your relationship. So I'm glad we were talking about this. We got more to talk about though. So we're going to take this break. And when we come back, we have some great tips from both of these astute and astound authors and experts about how to bridge the gap between where you are today and where you want to go in your relationship. So stay right here.
Would you like to be one of the first people to experience mental freedom? Mental freedom is a coaching practice with 6 core principles: improving hope, self-efficacy, optimism, resilience, and general well-being. Mental freedom only takes 6 sessions. It is designed to give you the tools you need to help yourself. It can help with any situation: relationship problems, past trauma, career decisions, parenting challenges, addiction, and mental health concerns. Incorporating the mental freedom framework into your life will deliver an approach to master any situation and a pathway toward achieving inner peace. Mental freedom provides the information and tools that you need to grow and be bigger than anything that ever happens to you. So if you're looking for one-on-one or a group coaching program that will allow you to address any situation that comes up in your life with practical tools to give you more peace and joy, then join the Mental Freedom Program in Soulivity's Aspire Academy. There are very limited spots available, so don't delay. I hope to see you there.
Sign up today at soulivity.com/Teresa Mental Freedom Today.
Hey, we are back with noted relationship author and expert Melva Johnson, along with my co-host for today, the radiant Sheila Applegate. Let's get to some tips. I always love tips. Because it's kind of like wraps everything up in a nice bow. It's kind of like our gift to people out there, especially couples who are in relationships and they may be going through different things. But I love the way that you frame this, Mom. It's bridging the gap, right? There's a gap between where you are, where you want to go, and so you're bridging it. And so what are some lovely tips that you can give our audience today?
Well, the first one is to keep in mind the stages when you get to stage 2, the reality stage of the relationship. So it progresses from me versus you in conflict. And then it goes to when you start having the conversations, self-awareness, and then you're getting to know the other person. Then it graduates to you and me working together on the same path toward a bigger picture. You keep implementing that over and over again until you get to the stage 3, which is the we. And your we comes from your vision and your purpose of being together, because it's bigger than the two people. And when you bring the best, when both people are bringing the best of who they are to that situation, they're bringing that best self to other situations as well, because that's who they are. We're growing and evolving beings. And so when we know how to, what is it that Maya Angelou says? When we know better, we do better.
Do better.
And so our relationships give us the perfect place, our intimate relationships give us the perfect place to practice. Because when we're pulling out those gold nuggets, I mean, yes, there's gold nuggets about where it is that we need to grow, but it's also golden nuggets that we want to fine tune, because we don't come to a relationship with nothing. We come in with the essence of a whole lot of wonderful things about us. Now, some of those things just kind of stay underground because we don't know how to bring them forth. But when we're in a safe environment and we can just be who we are and share our hearts to someone who loves and cares about us, something magic happens on the inside. And we just take it everywhere. So what is it? And I'm always quoting Jessie. She used to say that when people walk around with Limburger cheese on their lip, they say that the world thinks.
Well, yeah. That makes sense to me.
So if you want a different taste of life, a different experience, get another kind of cheese. It tastes good. It smells good.
Oh man, that's funny. But true. But very true. Very true. Oh man.
And then the other thing is, so the differences.
Okay.
So to know that being different is not right or wrong, good or bad, it's just different. I mean, now I don't mean being different in terms of being mean. I don't mean that. I mean the wonderful qualities, the different qualities that people have that they bring to the relationship. Because when you combine those and when you collaborate from a solid place on the inside, wonderful things happen. You know, the whole notion of the mastermind. Jessie and I went through 9 months of this learning about Napoleon Hill's 16 laws of success and what have you. And we were fascinated by the mastermind process. And so we focused on mastermind because what is it? When 2 or more people are gathered in peace and harmony, magic happens. They kind of said it like that, but that's the idea.
Yeah, we got it. We got
Come
it.
together in peace and harmony, and there's a third presence. Oh boy,
Wow.
it's also in the scripture too.
You know, as you were talking, Mama, this thought came into my head. And I think a lot of times when we say this phrase of when somebody shows you who they are, believe them, it's typically in a negative sense, right?
Right.
But here, Sheila, as Mom's talking, I'm thinking, here's a space that you've created where both of you can be vulnerable and share the light of who you are with each other. And then you get to see and believe that in your relationship. And I know that you practice this a lot with the people with the clients that you have.
There's nothing, in my mind, there's nothing more beautiful than being able to connect with another human being on that deep level, being seen and then seeing the other person as well. And as you were saying, Melva, it begins with knowing yourself. I also think it's about remembering that you're on the same team. And this can apply to any relationship. And, so many times my partner, Zach, and I are saying the same thing, but we think we're saying the opposite because we speak in different ways. And now we know that. So we're just like, I'm assuming you're saying the same thing, but this is what I'm hearing, and it's worth it if you can explore within yourself and share yourself with another soul and create together. That is magic. I agree.
And so it is, and so shall it be. Thank you both for sharing this. Do you have something else, Mom?
No, I was chuckling at what you said.
Yeah, that's another dad one, because he talks about that stuff. I mean, this importance of understanding that a lot of the things that we go through in our relationships with people, specifically in our romantic relationships, that we're going through these stages, it's a natural process. We're not going to know everything that we need to know about the other person when we're dating them. And that is the biggest misnomer that I see out here. And so educating people on the fact that that's just stage 1. That's just the first stage. Yeah. Find out if you have chemistry, find out if you have things in common, find out if you have similar philosophies around money and finances and some of the future. But that once you're together, like you always say, Mom, that's when, after a period of time, reality sets in, and now it's like all the other stuff that is the reason why you've come together comes to be. And that's okay. And it's and though it can be a little scary, there's ways to get through it with people like both of you who are helping people move through these processes, learning about themselves, learning how through that process they can open up the door to learning about their partner. So thank you both. Thank you both for sharing that light.
One quick thing.
Sure.
Just one quick thing. As I was listening to you, I was thinking about how helpful it would be to practice the principle of awe. I just made it up. So meaning it's like every single day in every single situation, look for what's good in the situation and in the other person. And when you do it over and over, you have to do it consciously first. When you do it over and over again, it's like you're noticing the best in other people, and you tend to do it with your mate as well. So when you get to the hiccup part, it's like you have so much deposits in your awe bank that it's just a hiccup because it's like this one thing that we're going to take care of because we have this going on and this going on, and this is all wonderful.
Okay.
Principle
All
of
right.
awe.
I
I
love it.
like that.
So the principle of awe removes the ear out of irreconcilable differences and making it so that it powers you. Listen, loving this conversation, love this talk today. Listen, everybody, we're going to take a short break, but we've got even more of Soulivity Today coming up. We'll be back in just a few minutes. Soulivity Today is brought to you by
Happy Travelers Tours
and Old Vine Wine Tours.
Ready to embark on a wine-filled adventure? Book your luxury wine tour today with Old Vine Wine Tours and experience the unparalleled beauty and flavors of Sonoma, Napa, and Lake counties. Old Vine Wine Tours offers transportation for the most amazing experiences in the Sonoma Valley, Santa Rosa, Healdsburg, and all of Sonoma County, as well as the Napa Valley and Clear Lake wineries of Lake County. From boutique tastings to bridal party transportation, we have you covered. Go to Old Vine Wine Tours /Wine in the Weeds for more information. Don't forget to mention promo code Soulivity to get 10% off either a culture or wine tour. Book your adventure today.
Are you a business owner looking to expand your reach and revenue to a perfect community? Being a Soulivity Today radio sponsor puts your business in front of hundreds of thousands of customers every week, and it's affordable too. For about the cost of a cup of coffee and snack each day, you can reach ideal people looking for your product or service. Our weekly 53-minute program airs on weekdays at 8 a.m. Eastern and Pacific times with real conversations about the people, places, and topics that are part of our everyday life. A perfect opportunity for you. Go to soulivity.com /Soulivity Today to learn how you can expand your business marketplace by becoming a Soulivity Today radio show sponsor. And for a limited time, special rates are being offered, so don't delay.
Hey, we're back with more on here on Soulivity Today. Let's get to some gifts from the heart because that's exactly what they are. Sheila, you always have some great things happening at your website, SheilaApplegate.com. And today's no exception, where you are doing soul connection sessions, which enhance your relationships, career, and health. Just so many good things. Can you tell people about these soul connection sessions?
Yeah, these are personalized sessions that kind of meet you where you are and take you to the next level, helping you to connect to your higher consciousness and to bring that self-awareness into your daily life and your relationships. And you can find that out at SheilaApplegate.com.
I love it. I love it. I love it. And Mom, you also got some good stuff happening always, where you are offering some complimentary consultations that can help people find hope and healing in their relationships, no matter what obstacles they may be facing. Can you tell people about these consultations?
Yes, I had mentioned the tip of the iceberg. Beneath the tip of the iceberg, yes, there's feelings, but there's also a unconscious blueprint for growth for both partners individually and together to build the relationship of their dreams. And so during the consultation, you'll have an opportunity to find out exactly what that blueprint is, and you'll know exactly where to focus to turn challenges, differences, and what have you into opportunities for growth and for opportunities to thrive together.
And people can find out and book their complimentary consultation by going to your website at melvajohnson.com. That's melvajohnson.com. And you can book your soul connection session with Sheila Applegate at SheilaApplegate.com as well. Guys, we are running out of time, but this has been wonderful. It's always wonderful with you guys. Always wonderful talking about this stuff. I learned so much and it keeps me focused. having a practice of awe. I'm going to like start doing that more and more and more, you know. I mean, gratitude is a powerful thing, isn't it? I mean, it really, 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 really is. It's transformative in every aspect, specifically here in your relationship. So, you know, start a gratitude practice, everybody, today with your honey, you know, no matter, you know, who and where they may be. And we're here too to support you. So thanks to both of you, Melva, Mom, for being here with me. Sheila, as always, my sister in love. Both of you are wonderful, wonderful, wonderful people. And I'm glad that you're part of Soulivity today.
Thank you.
Happy to be
be
here.
a part of Soulivity. Yeah.
Listen, everybody, we are running out of time. But before we get out of here, we want to make sure that you know that we are on social media. We are on all the major platforms, from Facebook to Instagram to Twitter X to YouTube and Threads. So go check us out. Just do a search for Soulivity and you will find us. Also, you can take us wherever you go by going to our podcast, which is on every major podcast provider, including the radio station that you're listening to today also has a podcast. So you want to go check us out there. Listen, also go to soulivity.com, our main platform for passion and purpose, where we are, you know, always posting fantastic information for you, including information about registering for the Whole Health Healing System curriculum by renowned Dr. Mark Mancola, who is using Eastern philosophies of medicine and other techniques to bring about a change in how we view health and wellness. It's right there on the front page, and you can learn more and sign up. Classes begin Monday, September 30th. Also, the latest information from our own astrologer coach, Sonia Francis, is there, where she's talking about a new moon in Leo, which is all about unleashing your Leo spirit with new moon magic. Doesn't matter what sign you're in. This is something that you definitely need to check out and read, because this is one thing that affects everybody. And so that's kind of like examples of things that are happening at soulivity.com. Listen, I want to thank each and every one of you for joining us for Soulivity today. We hope that you come back and join us on your radio station in your locale, or you can watch or listen to us on Soulivity TV, where you can find out more about all the other shows that we're doing as well. Listen, until next time, keep having real conversations with passion and purpose, and you're going to create a life full of high quality living today. Bye for now.
This work is subject to copyright owned by Affinity Global LLC. Any reproduction or republication of all or part of this is expressly prohibited unless Affinity Global LLC has explicitly granted its prior written consent. All other rights reserved.